Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Hey guys, it's Telarius here. I just wanted to go over PvP in Legion, WoD, and prior expansions to try to compare the overall systems and maybe how we can improve next expansion. We'll start off with the scaling system, alright? And to me this system is completely pointless, and here's my reasoning behind it. So in prior expansions, essentially you had a currency called Conquest, and you had a currency called Honor. You'd use Honor to grind up your Honor gear, which was like a worse version of Conquest gear, looked different. Kind of like how there's a blue and purple set right now that you can get from random boxes. And then afterwards, you start grinding your Conquest. So you can only make a certain amount of Conquest per week, alright? And that increased depending on your rating. So if you're good at PvP, you get increased amount of rating. You get your gear faster than everyone else, alright? But faster didn't mean much because towards like the middle of the season, everyone has full gear regardless. So that extra Conquest makes no difference. So everyone's on complete equal turns. Sure, it's a bit of a grind, but throughout that grind, you're the same. And if you come back later, there's a Conquest cap system. You just gotta invest time, and you'd be able to earn back your Conquest and catch up with everyone else, essentially. An example would be, say you're 3 weeks behind. Okay, now you have a 6,000 Conquest cap waiting in kind of like your inventory, if that makes sense. So you can just grind all of it out at once and be done with it. So in Legion, they brought a system that essentially scales everyone to the same to a stat template. All right, so everyone's the same. All right, and every 10 item levels, you get a 1% damage and healing increase. Right, so starting at 800. So if you're 930 eye level right now, you have a 13% increase of damage and healing in arenas and battlegrounds over someone who's 800 eye level. Right, so it's a very minimal increase. It's still a good increase, but it's still very minimal. And but what you do have to do, especially as a new player, is you actually have to grind out PvP talents. And here's why this new system is pointless. Because Halinka said, literally going from WoD to Legion, that he wanted PvP to be more friendly towards new players so they could get into it. Now this system doesn't accomplish that, alright? And you can compare the grinds, alright? Because you still have to grind. So you get a stat template, you get into PvP, you're still 14% damage increase, like below everyone else in the game, unless you start, you gotta go get some gear. So you're still grinding gear, first of all. It's not as an important gear, but you're still grinding it. You start grinding gear. Everyone else essentially they're gonna have more honor talents than you, so you're gonna be missing most of your class's PvP abilities to begin with. So what do you have to do? You have to grind battlegrounds just like you would grind honor or conquest to get these pieces of gear. I mean, not pieces of gear. These honor talents, right? And then you can PvP. There are some tiers of PvP talents that you just absolutely need. There's no question, you can't play without them. And you can compare that directly to grinding gear and conquest. All right, everyone's essentially the same. Back then, you had the same gear. Like week 2 conquest, season 1 of a new expansion. Everyone has the same gear. Okay. Everyone has the same talents. You're just PvPing and earning it, and there's a catch-up system. All right, you just gotta invest time, like maybe a day of queuing. And now you get into Legion. My point is, now you get into Legion. You still have to grind the other talents just like you'd grind gear. So it's not friendly towards new players. So it was like an absolutely useless main goal for the stat template. Like, it made no sense to introduce it to equalize everyone out just to add in a grind anyways, right? It just doesn't make logical sense. It's a logical fallacy. So when it comes down to it, in my opinion, they should go back to a prior system. And by a prior system, I mean one that doesn't completely fuck over world. Okay, I'm not gonna swear. Okay, one that doesn't completely fuck over world PvP. All right. So I don't know about you guys. Here's another change of subject, but it's related. But I used to absolutely love, in every prior expansions, I'd say 80% of my time as a PvPer was actually spent dueling having fun, just dueling people, learning the classes, learning the game, having fun in world PvP. By world PvP, I mainly mean dueling. Sure, there's like the occasional like big skirmish of like like 40 people, but it was fun. It was enticing. You actually learned the game as you were playing it, even if you were a new player. The first thing you tend to see are duels, and when duels are completely unbalanced like they are in Legion, it's just unfun. So when I used to start, here's like a quick little story. When I first started PvPing, the first thing I started to do was duel, and I got so fucking good at dueling, right, that I was curb stomping players with like 600 more experience than myself. I was like maybe a 1700 player. All I did was duel every day for months. I just loved dueling. It was just so fun, just beating people 1v1. You get that, you just feel good. You feel like you're better than the other player. You're learning their class as they're playing it, and you're playing against it. How to counter, when to time things, when to stun, when to incap. Oh, they just popped a cooldown, repentance, like stuff like that. You learn their class thoroughly as if you played it, essentially, because you're facing it so often. You're facing so many classes in 1v1 scenarios, and that just helps your awareness in arena. Well, at least I was able to bring that towards arena when I first started like playing 3v3. It's just a fun pastime, and if Legion had that, I would actually somewhat enjoy the game. I do enjoy 3v3 and 2v2. I think they're okay. I don't think they're the best. I think they can definitely be improved on, especially with the PvP system as a whole. But bringing back world PvP is a must, in my opinion. It's game breaking. You can't have a game where dueling is so unbalanced. Like, you don't have to balance the game around dueling. All you have to do, right? All you have to do is make it so players aren't getting globaled. Give everyone PvP stat templates in as soon as you enter a duel, something like that. I know they said that they couldn't do that because it would mess up with like zones and monsters and stuff, but like that doesn't really matter in Stormwind, in my opinion. Like level 110 isn't gonna like be fighting a sheep, and then when you enter PvP combat, your HP like drops or increases because of eye level. But like, all you have to do is balance out the world PvP. You can't have a game where people are just global into other people, hitting for like another player for 4 million. That's like 80% of someone's HP, 90% of it, sometimes 100%. It just becomes a sausage fest of people like doing as much big dick burst on each other as possible every 2 seconds. And if you don't one-shot them before they one-shot you, you lose. There's no coming back from it, right? Like you're so far behind, you're just gonna get one shot. Like you're dead. It's really that simple. Healers killing people. Everybody's re-rolling tanks in world PvP because they're nearly unkillable. Of course, this has been going on throughout the entire expansion, but I think you have to bring it up, especially when like those kind of playstyles don't take very much skill. I've seen bear tanks fighting 20 people and they're like barely dying. They're just slowly whittling down. Of course, with all these crazy legendaries going around as well. But in prior expansion, so here's a solution that Blizzard actually had prior, is let's say all eye level, all gear, the highest tier gear is 730, right? That's mythic equivalent, okay? And PvP gear would be 710 in this, and it would scale up to 730 in arenas and PvP combat, right? So, and of course, gear used to have resilience on it and PvP power. So what this would mean is, if someone's a full mythic raider, right, they don't get to one-shot people in world PvP, because that's how it is right now. As long as you have good gear, you just kill everybody in a stun. Like half a stun, you're dead. Doesn't even matter. Or one spell, you're dead. So what would happen is it would scale up. So if a mythic raider slammed into a PvPer in world PvP, the PvP gear would scale that player up to 730. They'd be on the same eye level, but they would have resilience and they would have PvP power. So they would have the advantage as a PvPer because they PvP, right? Not PvE, and bring PvE gear into PvP. They have the advantage because of those stats at the same eye level over these mythic raiders, even though they have like crazy trinkets and stuff like that. They still, it kind of equals out, but they still have the advantage. Okay, so I think that's a solution that they should go back to, in my opinion. It's kind of the lazy way out to just say, hey, yeah, just jump back in, go back in time, do what you did before. But I genuinely think it's a good idea. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little Legion rant on just some general PvP issues that I think should be changed next expansion. And thank you guys. Have a good day.